Hi everyone, Leanne here from Jada Blossom, and I have a sympathy card to share with you today. Hey, so I'm using Jada Blossom's Wishing You Comfort, their spring dies 2, their photo frame die, their sunflower dies. And I'm also using Echo Park's Day in the Life 2 and their Dots and Stripes Winter Edition paper pad. So I'm adding on a 1-inch strip of paper to the inside of an A2 sized white paper tray cardstock card, 4.5 by 11, scored at 5.5 inches. So adding that onto the inside with some ATG tape. There we go. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the inside of the card. And it says, "My heart is with you in your time of sorrow." And I'm stamping that with VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and using my MISTI just to make sure I get a really good stamped image. Remember that this ink's got to dry or it can smear. So I'm adding on two butterflies. This is from the Jada Blossom Spring Dies 2 set, and that's cut from paper from that Echo Park Day in the Life 2 6-inch pad. I like to use butterflies on sympathy cards. It's just something that I do. Now I'm taking some Post-its, and I'm just going to protect the inside of my card because I don't want that sentiment to smear. So first I have a piece of paper tray ink Enchanted Evening paper cut at 1/8 of an inch smaller than an A2 size card. And then this butterfly paper is from Echo Park's Day in the Life 2 pad. And that's cut at 4 by 5.25 inches. And I'm layering those up to go on the front of my card base. I'll add that with some ATG tape and hopefully get it straight on the front of my card. Now all my die cutting today was done with my Anna Griffin Empress, working on a Stampin' Up! Pad, all the things that I normally do. Okay, so I'm adding that on to my card front. And now I am going to assemble the Polaroid, or that photo frame. I cut it out of paper tray ink white cardstock first, and then again out of that A Day in the Life 2 pad from Echo Park. And I'm going to layer them up just because I want it to look thicker on my card front. And then I went ahead and I cut the Enchanted Evening cardstock 1/8 of an inch bigger than that photo frame die. So you'll have to measure. I didn't write down my measurements because I did this video a long time ago. I'm just doing my voiceover now. So I'm going to add that to my piece of Enchanted Evening cardstock from paper tray ink. Now I'm going to stamp a sentiment on the front of this photo frame using that same VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink and my MISTI. This will say, "Sharing in your sorrow." That Wishing You Comfort is a favorite of mine, at least for sympathy cards. And there it is. So now I'm going to cut a piece of Honeybee Love Letter 6-inch pad. Sort of looks like a watercolor pinkish background. It matches the butterflies. And I'm just cut out the center of that photo frame die. So I'm going to add that on so it has the stitching as well with some Bearly Art glue. Now, I did accidentally screw up and not film me assembling the daisy, but you'll see that in a second. So I'm going to glue together this little butterfly. I cut the base layer out of that paper as well as, so both from that Echo Park Day in the Life pad. I do weight it down. Oops, I got to make sure it's straight. I did the same, You'll notice that I already layered up the center of this daisy because I just wasn't thinking. So I cut it out of paper tray ink white cardstock and then again out of paper from that Echo Park Day in the Life 2 pad. And then the daisy is cut from paper tray ink white cardstock. And I just cut it out twice and then staggered the petals, right? Now these two pieces, one is from the Dot Stripe Winter from Echo Park and the other is from the Day in the Life 2. And I'm just going to add those to the front of my card. So gluing those down first, and then I'll add my little daisy. And I'll just add that with some of that Bearly Art glue again, using my reverse tweezers. And, you know, this is a simple card. And there we go. And next, I'm going to glue down, or I'll stick down this whole photo frame die with some ATG tape. And I'm going to kind of have that on an angle. There it is. And then I'll add the butterfly by just adding glue to the center and on the antenna. I'm going to have that kind of on an angle, and I'm going to use my tweezers to hold it in place until it dries. Now I have some of these enamel dots. I don't even know if I have, oh, they're Echo Park enamel dots. I don't know the name of them, but they're this exact color of kind of corally pink. So I'm going to add those on. And you know, odd numbers, visual triangles, right? That's the jam. And there it is. So thank you so much for stopping by. Be sure to hop on over to the Jaded Blossom blog, be inspired by the team, the Jaded Blossom store, to get your hands on these awesome products. And thanks as always for watching my videos. I really appreciate it. Make sure you come back and watch another one soon. Bye, everybody.